Hi, I'm Nathan. I go by Woomy World on Instagram and Flickr. Yeah, this is my build, Alexander the Roaming Titan. It's based on Final Fantasy. Not any specific iteration because every iteration is different. So kind of my own take on it. And yeah, it's a giant castle summon. Kind of a mech, kind of steampunk, but yeah.
It's very eye-catching here, very unique take on kind of the mech genre with Lego.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to dive into here. Where did you start with this build?
Okay, yeah. So this actually started as a digital model. So Bricklink Studio, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it started as digital, and I made a Technic frame all inside. And after that, I was like, okay, maybe I can actually make this in real life. So I gave it a go, and after I got the Technic frame set up, I was like, this might actually work. And so I just kept adding all the parts that I built digitally in real life, and eventually it came out and it worked.
I love it, yeah. So starting with kind of the bottom here, take us through some of the elements of the build and kind of the pieces you used to have this come together.
Yeah. So we're starting with like light bluish gray, and I think these are ISD buckets, like from the giant Star Destroyer. And yeah, it kind of just goes up, and there's some Technic rotation joints. Yeah, rotation joints. There's some gears using the Hellfire droid links, I think. And inside, you can't see it, but there's like Technic gear, like the rotation gears. And that gives it some like articulation. So I kind of move it around a bit. Oh, yeah. Don't
Might
want
lose a piece here or there.
Yeah, you don't want to move it too much. So it's usually just in this pose. But yeah. And then up here, it uses a lot of like at the time, the Hogwarts castle just came out. So I used a lot of these arches here.
I remember people were excited when that came out.
Yeah, because it's really useful. It's like a jumper, but it also has those arches. So I used a lot of those thanks to Bricks and Pieces. So yeah. These castles, I actually, like the mini castles, I changed it up a bit from the original just to give it kind of a story. Like there's a darker kingdom here, there's a good side kingdom here, and then like a neutral one in the middle. Because originally all of it was just like dark red castles on top. So
Yeah, no, you create the different colors really create kind of a nice texture and variety on the build.
yeah. Oh yeah, and then this middle kingdom, this one was fun to make. There's no like real story or anything, but it's kind of just like, I guess, plains land, and there's like a cottage here kind of in the bottom section.
Yeah, so it's like on the whole side of it there, you've created buildings and a whole nother world.
Yeah. And there's also like one building in the back. I don't know if you can get to it, but yeah, there's one like little, I guess, chapel in like a desert area in the back of the Titan. So all over the Titan, there's like different communities, kingdoms, I guess.
And you said it's from the Final Fantasy games, right?
Yeah. That's what it's based on. Those kingdoms are not actually in the game, but that's kind of just a made-up part that I did. But like the general shape is from Final Fantasy.
Well, another great part of it is kind of the chest and head section here, so it looks very imposing. What were some of the elements you used there?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this was originally built for a contest, like Bio Castle contest. I think it was by Anthony Wilson, so a Secret Walrus, I think. And he made a Castle Titan to kind of advertise it. So this face is kind of based around that Titan, I guess. There's a lot of wedge plates, and then right here kind of creates the eyes without actually having to like use normal eyepieces, I guess. Just having the little shadow there.
It looks spectacular. I like the tan walls are nice because there's a lot of gray in the build, so they kind of contrast with that.
Oh yeah, and also the tan walls. There's a bit of like greebling, and it's not just all tile. Like there's some indents in there, so it's kind of rusted down a bit.
So when you're transporting this to show, do different elements of it come off? How does that work?
Yeah, these arms, like right here, you can take them off, and then these little castles each, I like just bag them up and transport them. But like the main thing, or like the main torso, is just one block and a lot of bubble wrap. And yeah, just hoping that none of it falls apart. I mean, a lot of the Technic holds it together, so yeah.
What you did kind of basically micro scale building for the kingdoms on the top. What were some of your favorite elements there, and the ways that you could have achieved almost like a city look with that?
This one uses a lot of those like Technic wheels and just cylinders in general. This one was actually built at kind of an angle. You can see maybe like that brown 1x5 right there. So that's like built at an angle. And then there's the round 1x2 plates that kind of just curve around it to give it that spiral tower kind of feel. So that's probably my favorite parts of it.
Well, this is a spectacular build here, so it looks fantastic. I think it's very eye-catching. You've also got a few other great builds here, so what are some of your favorites? So in the same idea of these kind of like creature sculpture type builds.
This one, the Boreal Vixen, this one has been catching a lot of attention. It's been on Flickr a lot recently and Instagram, but this one has been one of my favorites, especially if you go down like at eye level, you can see like its expression and everything. And that's been one of my favorite parts. Like I'm telling people who stop by, like go down at eye level, you can see it's like gaze at you.
It's like the white croissant piece around the eyes there.
Yeah, and then like I use the green toe ball bars, and there's also a clip, so it gives the eye like an extra added detail around it, like around the iris kind of. This has also been one of my favorites. This was for Ninjago's 10th anniversary contest. I did win grand prize on that.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah, this one was one of my favorites as well that I brought. And yeah, these were, I guess we can go around here. This was for BioCup 2020, which is one of the best contests in the community. If you're watching, you should join. Yeah, and that was for Space Jam, and these were kind of just for fun. So
I love what's going on in this scene here, like all the stuff jumbled up at the bottom.
oh yeah, yeah. When I was building this, it was like it was for a space gladiator contest, and I was like, okay, I have a lot of different table scraps of different gladiators. I was like, I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to use, so I just mashed them together as all defeated gladiators, and then I made this one to kind of like reign over them.
Well, excellent work here. Thank you so much for taking us through the builds. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. Yeah.